Hello and welcome to the video. Today I'm going to do a review of the Bible Knowledge Commentary. So you can see here, this is the Old Testament and the New Testament. The New Testament is quite smaller than the Old. We'll start off with the Old Testament. So the Old Testament, this is the general editors for this. As you can see are John Walvoord and Roy Zuck. So this is an exposition of the scriptures by the Dallas Seminary faculty, and this is based on the NIV, so the verses in here will be NIV. And so you can see the content, charts and diagrams, the prefaces, the editors, contributing authors. You have an overview of the Old Testament, and then you get into Genesis. So each one of these will have like the main editor, which is Genesis is Alan P. Ross. And then you have an introduction, so it goes over the titles, the authors, the author or like the proposed authors, the nature of Genesis, the literary composition. So we'll just go over one. We're going to go over just the introduction, the development of the message of Genesis, and then you have an outline, the theology of Genesis, and then an outline, and then you get into the commentary. So if those of you who never had a commentary, you can see this type of commentary breaks it off into sections. Like this first one, it's gonna use that outline and it's gonna tell you like primeval events, and then it's gonna go into creation, and then it's gonna break it down further. You can see each section, like this is verses 1:20 to 23. This is like this one right here is verses 24 to 31, and then 2. So it depends on the section, and it can be pretty detailed. You know, this would be more detailed than a study Bible. So if you're wanting, this is like the whole Old Testament in one book, whereas you can buy some commentary where it's just like one book is one chapter or one book of the Bible. And so you can see how this goes. Sometimes there's maps, there's different charts. Explaining things further, and so you can see like I'm only at chapter 16 of Genesis, and it's quite intense. It's quite big. So if you're wanting to go a little deeper in your Bible study, this is a good starter commentary. It's a little bit more in the conservative line, not conservative as in politics, but conservative as in the church world. And so if you're like thinking Baptist leaning, Reformed, that kind of thing, Calvinist, that kind of thing. But those of you who are not from those backgrounds, don't let that scare you. It's good to read people who aren't from your denomination and who aren't in your way, to learn what other people think of it. So don't run from that. You might be enlightened and you might learn a lot anyway. Especially if you come from my background, the Pentecostal background, that doesn't do a whole lot of theology, doesn't do a whole lot of reading, church history or reading commentaries. You will be surprised how much you can learn, and don't be scared of it. Please don't be scared. Don't be scared to read man's commentaries. Of course, the Bible is the ultimate authority. And again, I'm just a Bible study layman. I'm not a pastor. I haven't gone to seminary school or anything like that. So again, this is the New Testament side. So it's a little bit smaller. You see, again, Matthew is written by that person. And then you have an outline, so it's very similar. I have not read all the way through this. I picked it up throughout the past few years. I hope one day to read it all the way through. I'm still going through study Bibles myself, and I pull this out when I have questions. Use it as a resource. But it would be great to read it all the way through one of these years, hopefully maybe next year. But I do pull it out when I have questions or when I have extra time to study. So that's Matthew. So it's a really great set. If you're looking for a commentary, I'd highly recommend, and I hope everybody has a good day.